In the heart of the South American nation of Uruguay, rolling hills and sweeping plains are characteristic of the scenery. One would find it impossible to visualize the fierce wars between man and beast that once transpired here. Beasts that had been those men's best friends not long before. In the 17th century, when the Spanish conquistadors first set foot on Uruguayan soil, they brought with them their fierce European mastiff dogs to guard their settlements and livestock. Over time, many of these dogs escaped or were abandoned and began roaming freely across the wilderness of the new land. Through survival and adaptation, they evolved, became apex predators, and became known as the Cimarrón, the untamed ones. In the wilderness, they forged a new existence, forming tight-knit packs like their far-distant Eurasian wolf ancestors and honing their primordial instincts for hunting and protection. Yet, amidst the rugged beauty of their homeland, danger lurked in the form of hunters and settlers who saw them as nothing more than pests to be eradicated. Generations passed and the Cimarrón Uruguayo endured, their bloodline carrying the scars of battles fought and losses suffered. They remained guardians of the land, fiercely loyal to those who showed them kindness and respect. But as Uruguay modernized and urbanized, their way of life became increasingly threatened. The once vast expanses of wilderness dwindled, replaced by fields of crops and sprawling cities. The Cimarrón Uruguayo found themselves pushed to the fringes, their territory shrinking with each passing year. No longer revered for their strength and resilience, they were viewed with suspicion and fear by those who saw them as a nuisance. Those, ironically, whose ancestors brought the ancestors of the Cimarrón to this land as their own loving companions. One by one, their numbers dwindled as they fell victim to hunters, disease, and the encroachment of civilization. Those who remained lived lives of quiet desperation, haunted by memories of a time when they roamed free under the boundless sky. The year is 1898 in the Cerro Largo highlands of Uruguay. There lived a lone Cimarrón named Luna. Her coat was the color of the moonlight that bathed the land in silver. Recently outcast by her pack, she had known hardship from the moment she opened her eyes, having seen her mother slain by hunters when she was but a pup. Yet despite the odds stacked against her, Luna possessed a spirit as fierce and unyielding as the winds that swept across the plains. With each passing day, Luna roamed further from the dwindling wilderness, drawn by an unseen force that tugged at her heartstrings. She longed for a sense of belonging, a place where she could lay her head without fear of harm or persecution. One fateful night, as the stars shimmered like diamonds in the velvet sky, Luna stumbled upon a small farm nestled in the valley below. There she found sanctuary in the warmth of a humble farmer named Miguel, whose heart was as vast as the land he called home. Miguel welcomed Luna with open arms, recognizing in her the same untamed spirit that coursed through his own veins. In turn, within Luna, there kindled a primordial, unexplainable longing to embrace this strange ape, this man, one of the same kind who murdered her mother before her eyes as a pup. Yet for every inch of her wanting to disembowel him, there was an inclination to equally cherish and flourish with him as well. Together they forged a bond that transcended words, a bond born of mutual respect and admiration. But their happiness was short-lived, for the shadows of the past loomed large on the horizon. Hunters, driven by their own greed and ignorance, descended upon the plains like vultures, their guns poised to snuff out a pack of Cimarrón that had devastated their sheep flock. The hunters eventually found themselves entering Miguel's property. Miguel, defiant yet improperly armed, hastily fled into town to gather reinforcements. Leaving Luna to her own devices. In the chaos that ensued, Luna stood her ground, her teeth bared in defiance as she faced her would-be assailants. But even her courage could not withstand the onslaught from the storm of lead that rained down upon her. As Luna lay bleeding in the dust, her life slipping away with each passing moment, Miguel returned with a large entourage, bent on exacting revenge on the brigands. He knelt beside her, his eyes brimming with tears. In that final moment, as the world faded to darkness around Luna, she knew that her sacrifice had not been in vain. For in her death, she had become a symbol of resilience and defiance, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of the Cimarrón Uruguayo would endure. And though her body may have been broken, her legacy lived on in the hearts of those who dared to dream of a world where freedom knew no bounds. If only she knew that had she been born a century later, she would have been heralded as a national treasure of the modern nation of Uruguay. The Cimarrón Uruguayo as a distinct breed started to develop as a result of natural selection and adaptation to the harsh conditions of the Uruguayan countryside. Like the dingo of Australia, the Cimarrón were derived from feral European mastiff dogs that became apex predators in a new ecosystem. Yet at the same time, these dogs were valued for their ability to work with livestock, guard property, and survive in challenging environments. Despite their historical significance, the Cimarrón Uruguayo faced challenges as the country modernized. The breed's population declined due to persecution by hunters and farmers, and efforts were made to preserve and promote its unique characteristics. In the 1970s, a group of enthusiasts and breeders took steps to standardize the Cimarrón Uruguayo, working towards official recognition of the breed. In 2006, the Cimarrón Uruguayo was officially recognized as a breed by the Uruguayan Kennel Club, or the Club Nacional de Cimarrón Uruguayo. The breed's recognition has helped raise awareness about its cultural and historical importance, and efforts are ongoing to ensure its preservation and responsible breeding. Today, the Cimarrón Uruguayo is recognized by various international kennel clubs and organizations, including the Fédération Cynologique Internationale, or FCI. While the breed is still relatively rare outside of Uruguay, it is gaining attention for its unique qualities as a working and companion dog with strong ties to the country's heritage. From being a vilified, persecuted apex predator, the Cimarrón Uruguayo have now become one of Uruguay's main symbols of national pride. Luna's demise was not in vain.